Hello, good evening, wherever you're joining me from. For those in Nigeria, good evening, and the rest of you, wherever you're joining me from, good day. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Your Family Lawyer. Okay, right. I'm trying to do this to see who are all those that are joining me on this live. Now, if you're joining me on this live, I want you to just mention in particular the city you're joining me from, right? If you're in Nigeria, mention the city you're joining me from. And if you're joining me from outside Nigeria, I want you to tell me the city and the country you are joining me from. I would like to say this before I continue today with today's topic, that I believe in marriages and I believe in family. It is my position that people should not consider divorce unless they have, first of all, spoken with a marriage counselor. So until you have spoken with a marriage counselor, until you have also taken pre-divorce counseling, I would not want you to consider divorce. That is my counsel. And that's because I want marriages to work, and I believe that before you get to the divorce stage, before you decide to divorce, you should have explored all the other options that are available to you. Mentioning that, I would like to continue to say from what I've always said, and thank you for those who have been following me. You know, I regularly say this, that the things that I share here do not amount to professional advice, do not amount to professional counsel. What it is opinion. It is an opinion. It is an advice, not professional advice this time, an opinion, education, and just for general orientation purposes. So that if you are going through any particular issue in your life right now, if you're dealing with any family law issue in your marriage, in your family, you should speak with a lawyer. Talk to a lawyer. Find lawyers around you. It is easy to find one. All you need to do is just pick up your phone and search for a lawyer close to me, right? If you search for a lawyer close to you, you will definitely find one. So my counsel is, do not make any family law decision. Do not decide to divorce or separate from your spouse without first seeking marriage counseling, marital counseling, and also pre-divorce counseling. And you should also ensure that whatsoever I share here, you just take it as general orientation and you take it for education purposes. It's not professional advice. Speak with a lawyer to make that particular decision that you want to make, right? Okay, let's go straight into today's conversation and what I want to talk about. The reason why I chose this topic is because of the many questions that have been coming to our office, the questions you have been receiving via WhatsApp, via SMS, through Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, the questions you have been receiving in our emails, and the calls we get to also attend to. Like, you hear people say, oh, I don't want to be the one to fight the divorce. I do not want to fight the divorce because I don't want to be the person spending money on it. Like, she cannot make my life miserable. She cannot make my life tiring. And at the same time, she cannot make my life tiring. She cannot make my life miserable. And at the same time, she wants me to be the one that will fight the divorce. I've heard other people say he cannot take me all through the stress and everything that I've suffered and I've given up, and I'll be the one filing the divorce. I will not give him that luxury. I will not give her that luxury. We get to hear this again and again as lawyers. Many people have separated from their spouse with the mindset that I will not fight for divorce until he fights for divorce, until she fights for divorce. So we see men who right now, they are already disconnected from their marriage. They are already out of their marriage. They are not willing to invest or work in their marriage anymore. And yet, these same people, they just want a situation whereby, oh, you would be the one to fight for divorce. So they start cheating, they start living badly, they start doing many terrible things just in a bid to push their wives for the divorce. And on the other hand, I have seen women who will walk out from their marriage. So what the women do is that they walk out from their marriage, and when they walk out from their marriage, they feel, and the belief is that, oh, if I walk out from my marriage, whenever he's tired, he will definitely fight for the divorce, right? He will definitely fight for the divorce and the rest. And you see these men, they are not even ready to fight for the divorce. So the women stay in those marriages for several years. I mean, they are in that marriage for several years. The marriage is not going forward. The marriage is not coming back. They are separated in their mind. They are out of the marriage. But then if you follow the teachings that I do here, the things that I share here, and if you talk with family lawyers around you, you would realize that separation, no matter how long, can never become divorce. No matter how long, can never divorce. In fact, if you choose to remarry and you go ahead to marry someone else in the course of a pending marriage, while you are still separated from your spouse, especially if it's a statutory marriage, you're guilty of bigamy. And bigamy is a crime. It carries the years. It carries prison term, right? If it's a customary marriage and you're a man and you choose to marry someone else, or it's an Islamic marriage, you choose to marry someone else, where custom will not hold up with you, because under customary law, you can marry as many wives that you want, and under Islamic law, you can marry as many as 4. But as a woman, under customary law, you cannot even marry an extra husband. So you want to avoid that. You don't want to be caught up in that kind of situation. You don't want to be caught up in that mess, right? So let's go to the particulars of today's conversation, right? If your fees, I think I want to break it down into different ways. If I am not the one that fights for divorce, will I have to pay a lawyer? Will I have to spend money getting that divorce? And number 2, if I am not the one filing the divorce, does it mean that I will spend little or no money on my divorce? So let me tell you what actually determines how much you will spend when it comes to filing your divorce. So when it comes to your filing a divorce or responding to a divorce, what actually determines how much you are going to spend? And if you follow me to the end of this particular edition, of this particular episode of Your Family Lawyer, you'll be able to see when you may not spend any money at all, right? There's a time you will not spend any money at all. But let's first of all take what to a large extent determines how much you would spend. And if you're on this live, if you are not watching the replay, or if you are watching the replay, I would like to know the city you are joining me from. So in the comment section, you may want to just drop the city you are joining me from, so that I know that, oh, there's somebody joining me from Mina, there's somebody joining me from Maiduguri, and there's somebody joining me from Abeokuta. So drop in the comment section where you are joining me from. So I've broken today's conversation into 2, right? When you will spend money as the respondent into a divorce, and when you may not spend money at all. First of all, who is a respondent? I think we should start from that, right? When it comes to divorce, and now I'm using statutory marriage as an example, right? When it comes to divorce, the person who applies, who files court processes, asking for divorce, requesting for divorce, is called the petitioner. So he's petitioning the court to say, see, there are irreconcilable differences in my marriage. See, there are these issues in my marriage. And I believe that we can no longer continue together as husband and wife. So I want you to end this marriage. I want you to end this marriage for us, right? I want you to end this marriage because we can no longer continue. The person who does that, who goes to court to make that application, who goes to court to file that papers, is called the petitioner. Now, the other person who happens to be the spouse, the other person from which divorce is being sought, is the respondent, right? So that person is called the respondent. That person would, while the person who is in court filing for divorce files a divorce petition, the respondent files a reply to the divorce petition. So the reply is more or less like answering the questions that this other person, answering the questions and the issues that the petitioner has raised. What if it is in a situation where the respondent wants to say, no, I'm not just going to reply you. I don't think you are the one who is supposed to be filing this divorce. I'm the one who is supposed to be filing this divorce, not you. Definitely not you. Based on the things that we face in this marriage, you should not be the person filing for divorce. I should be the one filing for divorce, right? So the respondents can come up and say, no. I want to counter this person. Like, I don't just want to counter. I want to find my own reasons. I want to find my own reasons to ask for divorce. I have better grounds for divorce than this person. So what the respondent will file at that particular time will be reply and cross petition, right? And when you get to court, the court will attend to the cross petition first before attending to the petition and reply. Now, what are those factors that would determine how much you as a respondent or how much a respondent out there will spend for the divorce, right? Remember I said there are times you're going to spend money and there are times you will not spend any money at all. But now let's look at the factors that will make you spend. You have been served these divorce petitions and you are disgusted, you are irritated, you are angry, you are mad, you are vexing right now. Like, can you imagine this person filing this divorce? Maybe asking for custody, maybe asking for maintenance, maybe asking so and so money for welfare. Or perhaps this person has even come to court to lie against me and just say different rubbish against me. I may also want the divorce, right? So the respondent might say, I may want this divorce too. I also want this divorce. I'll be expecting him, I'll be expecting her to fight for this divorce, fight for this divorce long ago. Why are you just filing this petition right now? But come on, there are lies here that have been said against me that I do not agree with. There are inconsistent statements in this thing that I do not agree with, right? Or perhaps I think I'm the one who has better reason to fight for divorce. If the respondent has that attitude and the rest, these are things that will determine how much the respondent would spend. Number one, the lawyer you are choosing. Right? As lawyers, we don't have fixed amount for certain things, especially when it comes to litigation. Even when it comes to consultation, for example, there is a range, right? It means that if you are so and so years at the bar, you cannot charge the minimum of so and so amount. Good practitioners remuneration order actually stipulates that. For example, I am 13 years at the bar. It means that I have been a lawyer for 13 years. Now, using the legal practitioners remuneration scale, using the legal practitioners remuneration order, the law says that I cannot charge you less than 30,000 naira for consultation fee. That is what the law says. Interestingly, if someone was to consult with my office, we will charge the person 50,000 naira for consultation. Now, that 50,000 naira on family law matters will cover 3 months. So for 3 months, if you're asking us questions, if you're always coming back to ask us questions, you're always coming back to seek clarity, your consultation fee 50,000 naira covers a period of 3 months. But some people will come up and say, oh, I don't think I'll need to ask you questions. I'll need to come back for clarity. I'll be around doing all the talking front and back for 3 months. I don't think I need as much as 3 months to make a decision. 1 day is enough for me. So I just want 1 day. I don't need 3 months. So there's no need for me paying 50,000 naira. For us, we will not charge you. I will charge you the minimum. The minimum is now 30,000 naira consultation fee. Right, so as stipulated by law. So the lawyer you are consulting, his status in the legal profession, and also what he chooses to be you would be the fee. That is one thing you should understand. So when it comes to litigation, for example, different lawyers also have their own scale. Yes, there's a general scale, but different lawyers have their own scale. So they could say, oh, for divorce cases that are not contentious, which means that you are not contending the divorce. Perhaps you're only just contending the story. You are only just arguing the story to say this is not the truth, right? This is actually the truth. For those kind of things, this is our minimum. If their children evolve and we need to battle custody, this is the minimum. If we need to battle maintenance, this is the minimum. If we are cross-petitioning, this is the minimum. If we are doing this and that, this is the minimum. So different lawyers will have their own fee. For example, I may not be able to charge you as much as a senior advocate of Nigeria may charge. I may not be able to charge you as much as a lawyer who is 30 years at the bar may charge. Interestingly, I may even charge you more than some senior advocates of Nigeria, and I may even charge you more than some members of the body of bencher. Why? Because family law is my expertise. It's my specialization. It's where I stay. So when you're coming to meet me for family law, you are coming to meet a specialist in it. Or like another lawyer who may be a general practitioner, another lawyer whose specialization may be in another aspect of law. So the lawyer you are consulting, the lawyer you are briefing to handle your case, determines to a large extent how much you would be paying. His status, his fees will determine the minimum you'll be paying. Another thing that will also determine how much you are going to be paying, whether you are the petitioner or you are the respondent, because in reality, you may be the respondent in a divorce petition, and yet you will be the one that will spend more money than the petitioner. So it is not who spends more money does not necessarily depend on who is the person that files the case. It is not the person that files the case that actually determines how expensive the case is going to be or how much you are going to spend. I know again and again that people are running away. They don't want to file for divorce because they don't want to spend much. But in reality, it is not the person that files that actually spends more. It is actually the person who takes the most expensive lawyer. So it is your lawyer that, to a large extent, determines how much you are going to spend. Oh, thank you, Bankole, for joining us. Bankole Omowumi, thank you for joining us from Ibadan, right? I can see you. Thank you. Now, another factor that determines how much you will spend on your family law lawyer, on your lawyer when it comes to anything that has to do with family law, whether it is divorce, whether it is custody, whether it is adoption, or whatsoever it is. Another major factor is the location of the court. The location of the court would, to a large extent, determine how much you are going to spend, right? For example, I'm in Ibadan, and you are the respondent in a particular family law matter, maybe a divorce or custody matter. And right now, the case is in Enugu, and you want me to be your lawyer to represent you in Enugu. You're going to spend more. The reason why you're going to spend more is because you have to pay for hotel, right? So my lodging will be part of it. One way or the other, my security will be part of it. My flight tickets will be part of it. So you understand it? The location of your court and the location of your lawyer would also determine how much you are going to be spending. If you are going to be cross-petitioning, it means your lawyer is going to be spending more in filing the case. The things you are claiming will also determine how long this case will last in court and will significantly affect what your lawyer will charge you. So it is not the person who files case in court, whether it is a family law matter or any other matter, that actually spend much. The pedigree of your lawyer, the expertise of your lawyer, the distance between your lawyer's office or your lawyer's place and the place where the case is filed would also matter, right? The type of case, let me say why I say type, I will want to explain it now, is that right now we have virtual proceedings and we have physical proceedings. So if it is physical proceedings, for example, if I'm in Ibadan and it is physical proceedings and the case is in Ibadan, it means I can easily just go to court. If it is virtual proceedings, there are some states that say if you are asking for virtual proceedings, this is how much you are going to charge, right? So some states may say, oh, for every time, for the day we are going to do virtual, you will pay 30,000 naira extra for any day we are doing virtual, because of all the internet facility we have to provide, because of all the technology that will be available to make it possible. So whether you are doing physical or you are doing virtual would also significantly affect what is the cost of the divorce. So it is not the person that files a divorce that spends more. I want to believe you understand it right now. It is not the person that files for divorce. Of course, if you have questions, you may want to use the details of this particular live to contact me directly, or you may drop your questions right now in the comment section and I will answer it. So if you have questions, you could drop them in the comment section and I will answer it. So basic is that you are the respondent in a divorce matter does not mean that you will spend less. I did mention earlier on that there's a situation where you may not even spend any money at all. So let me explain that. At what time will it be that you will not spend any money at all? It's if you choose not to reply to a divorce petition. Maybe perhaps a divorce petition has been served on you right now and you decide to do nothing about it. So you decide not to take a lawyer, you decide not to appear in court, you decide not to file any paper either in reply or a cross petition. If you decide to just ignore and let it go, you will not spend any money. But if you choose to represent yourself or you choose to get a lawyer, your fees will not be dependent on you being the respondent. Your fees will be dependent on who is the lawyer you are picking, which court is this matter coming up, and what are the intricacies of your case. I believe I have answered these questions sufficiently, but if you still need clarity or some other matters when it comes to this particular issue, you may drop it in the comment section and I will reply. If you want to ask me directly, you can use the details of this video. So you can use the details of this live, or you can use the details that is scrolling now on the screen to reach out to me to ask your questions and I would answer you. But then if you say you don't even want to ask me, that is fine. However, like I would say, do not take any legal step or legal decision without first consulting with a lawyer. I still had a client who experienced that. They served him court papers on Thursday and he refused collecting the papers. By the time he was telling me, it was on Saturday, and I was like, that was such a wrong decision by not collecting court papers from the court belief, because right now you cannot even explain to me what the case is, and I cannot even respond properly to that case because I don't have the court papers to make reference to, and you also don't have the court papers to make reference to, right? So there are times people want to make decisions without first consulting a lawyer. Please consult a lawyer. And I'll say it again, if you ever receive any court process from any belief or from anyone, do something. Accept the court process. When you are signing the acknowledgement, ensure you put the date and you put the time that you received it. So if you put the date and the time that you receive it and consult a lawyer immediately. I said it earlier on for those who joined from the beginning, that before you go to court for custody or for divorce, especially for divorce, ensure that you have consulted with a marriage and family life therapist, and also ensure that you take a pre-divorce counseling, right? So if you take pre-divorce counseling, which will help you know what to expect and the rest, you'll be well prepared to know whether you want to divorce or don't want to divorce. And if you want to divorce, how to go about it. My name is Earl and I am all right. I am a family law lawyer and also, interestingly, a counseling psychologist. The things that I share here do not amount to legal advice. It's just for education and orientation purpose. So that if you have any legal questions, you could contact me directly or contact a lawyer that is closest to you. From the ancient and modern city of Ibadan, I want to say thank you for joining me this evening. You rock. Bye-bye.